Alright, I was listening to a podcast and I heard something interesting I wanted to share. Now, it's got nothing to do with the game on the screen. It's just the only way I can get around YouTube is to have something uh, moving on the TV. If I was to show the actual screen or even mention who it was, uh, YouTube tends to do its thing. So, why it's important for people to be able to speak freely. They were discussing this just before about free speech, but then they also mentioned like the atheist delusion, part of how we got where we are today, and how woke ideology feels like a replacement. Like in it, when you look at it in its terms, it even feels like a religion. And then, and this is just on my part, not what's mentioned in the clip, but it reminds me of a similar behavior when you look at woke ideology and like the behavior of how people do. They won't even talk to people they disagree with. They don't want to give them, you know, even the platform to even discuss ideas. Or people who are stuck in that ideology will shun anybody who don't agree with them rather than willing to talk and try to discuss how things work. So yeah, that reminds me of cult-like mentality. So I'm going to play the clip here.
That's why I'm so excited about new media. I think it's a real opportunity to start to change that. You know, with trigonometry, we're increasingly thinking about it as trigger media in terms of...
Oops.
Is that...
My bad. Here we go.
I wonder whether part of the problems that we are facing is the lack of it. The criticisms that they were making were legitimate, but where we've ended up doesn't seem to me to be a good place. And then you get, we talked about this earlier, the woke ideology coming in. It almost feels like a replacement for what we had before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's talking
it
about
becomes
the
very much like religion in a lot of ways. I mean, do you remember Atheism Plus?
No.
What was that? That was the thing they were trying for a little while, or some factions were trying, where it was atheism plus a series of like ethical and moral guidelines. So it was like atheism. It wasn't just atheism. It was atheism plus like a lot of like very woke ideologies. But particularly at the time, they weren't calling it woke. It was like progressive ideology. They were, and then I'm like, oh, okay, religion. So you guys have like rules. You're gonna have it's not deities, it's moral high ground. It's, you know, it's instead of a god, you have a set of ideals that can't be questioned.
Yeah.
You know, we interviewed Dawkins a couple of months ago, and one of my favourite ever conversations. And you know, what a brilliant man, what a brilliant mind. And we were talking with him, and I said to him, but people need religion, Richard, because the reality is we're all going to die. That is a reality. That is the harsh and brutal reality of human existence. We're born and we shall die. But the idea of death to the vast majority of people, and understandably so, is so terrifying that it's impossible to intellectualize. It's impossible to accept. So I think the vast majority of people need religion. They just need it.
Well, people need something.
Yeah.
Something. And that's why you're seeing the ayahuasca rituals become like a replacement in a lot of ways for religion. But, you know, honestly, a better one. I know a lot of people that have gotten like some profound changes from psychedelic experiences if done correctly with the right intent and the right setting. You can't deny them, whether it's psilocybin or DMT or these experiences that people have had where they've legitimately changed as a human being. I don't think that they should be ignored. You know, and I think that denying those from people, that's not good for anybody either. It's not good to deny people their right to practice religion. It's not good to tell people that the way they're living is wrong. Live your way. Live your way. And if someone wants to live with religion, as long as they're not imposing that on other people, and that's, of course...
That's where I draw lines.
That's where there's laws that get put in place, you know, and then, you know, there's certain restrictions on certain parts of the population, whether it's homosexuality or women or, now we're dealing with problems. We're dealing with...
So really the problem lies is when you start imposing your belief on others and making it to where it's legal to force other people to have to believe what you believe. But otherwise, you know, as long as like you only... My phone's about to die, I gotta put it on the charger. But yeah, as long as you respectful toward other people's, give each other that social space to, if you don't impose on others, not force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do, then yeah, they give them their rights. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting piece, and I wanted to share that.